Hey everyone, welcome back to part 24 of creating a Rolex Sky Dweller inside of Maya 2018. So today we're going to be making, wrong button, we're going to be making the lock, and there's not really any good images of, like, I even typed in, like, the lock here, and there is just, like, no good images of the lock. There's, like, barely any pictures of them, and it's kind of hard to see, so what we're going to be doing instead is actually creating a lock from a different watch I made, kind of like the Rolex Daytona. We're going to make the same kind of lock I created here, but for example, you don't even like see the lock really, so there's not a huge point in creating like a big one, because when you're looking at a watch, you don't look at that part. So we're going to be just doing that today, and so yeah, let's get started. So let's get started and create a cube, and I'm going to bring this down to about here. Go into my side view, and we're just going to make this about like this big, and push it up a little bit here. So like about like this, basically. Maybe a bit smaller even. Just actually something like that. And is this rotated? I don't think it is. Okay, good. And then I'm gonna scale this out a bit to like. So we're gonna scale it out to about like the same size-ish as the links that we made, so about like that big. And we're going to click on one of these edges and do right click, edging utility, whoa, what did I just do? Edging utilities, edging and splits, and then change this to multi, and then drag these out to about like there. What the heck? Let's pick a time. Okay, so I'm gonna select these, actually maybe a bit in more. Select these top faces here, and then Control E to extrude, and bring those up quite a bit. Although actually I think I'm gonna select this entire thing and just make it a bit thinner. Something like that or something. And then have those selected and bring those up to something like that. So this looks pretty good. And then we're gonna want to connect the end parts here, so I'm just gonna add an edge one about there and about there, and then just select that, and then Control E to extrude, and then just bring those to basically about the same parts they are there. That way we can just select it all and then just merge it like that. Select it all and press 3 to preview a smooth of this, and I don't think it merged the way I wanted it to. Well, actually, maybe it did. Okay. Yeah, here we go. And now let's add a bend deform to this. So actually, before we do that, we need to add a lot of edge loops in here. So I'm going to go to the same thing we did before, and then there, and just pressing G to repeat my last command. That way I can get a lot of geometry in here. That way when we bend it, it won't look really bad. So we have something that looks like this, and we're going to go to deform, nonlinear, bend, and put in something like 10, and then rotate this 90 degrees like that way, and then 90 degrees, or actually just have it as 0 right there. So something like this looks pretty good, although it still seems a bit too big. So like that is still too big. Something like that is good. Okay, and then click it and do Alt-Shift-D to delete the history. And we're going to drag it down to about here. Still not a bit equal. Something like that. So that's what I want. And then if we look at the other Rolexes here, trying to take a look at the lock part, you can see that we're not making the exact same one, but it'll look pretty good. We're gonna have the Rolex logo kind of ish on there, so let's add that to the bottom. Even though you won't probably see this, we can just add it anyway. So let's bring this down and then scale it up a bit, and then I'm gonna bring it up and put it onto about here, and then bring it down and scale it, just in case you wanted to like know how or something. So we have that, which basically looks like all of these. Although we are making our own version though, because I don't really have like proper way of knowing exactly how they look like, because there's like a billion different random pictures of it. So with this piece like that, we're going to create the piece that will connect onto that. Let's see how much time I have. We'll probably just do that in this episode. So, and what we're going to do is create another cube here, and bring it down. Look how small a cube is compared to our huge watch now. And bring it down to about here, and then there, and then press R to scale it out a little bit. Want it to be bigger than this piece right here that we created before. I'm gonna select it, and then we're gonna select it actually before we do that, and then this thing, I'm gonna scale it in a little bit, so that way we have room for this. So that looks good. And then I'm gonna scale this out a bit more. Actually, I'm gonna scale this in even a bit more, so that we have more room for this upcoming piece. Put that there, and have this about here. Cool. And then we want to add a edge loop and create that to multi. I don't even know what words I'm saying anymore. I'm so tired. And have them about there, and then select those guys, and then just extrude those out. So it'll look like this. And then if we select these edges right here and do the same thing we've done before, we can start adding in some more geometry for when we deform this. So that's good enough. Select that, deform, nonlinear bend. And I think we used 10 before, so we're going to use 10 here. And rotate this the correct way, so -90 and 0. Okay, so I think this looks good, so I'm going to click on this, Alt-Shift-D, delete our history, and scale this down a bit to like here. So maybe you can even make this a bit thinner, maybe a bit thicker. I think I want it to be about the same size, so let's see. We rotate this a bit better. Go into our side view here, and rotate this up more, and then to about here, and then rotate that down, and then up to like there. Maybe even scale that out more. Okay, that looks like what I want basically. And then I'm gonna push it like that. Get some room between these guys, because we're really using up a lot of room here. We have it looking kind of like what I want, so if I take a look at some of these watches, that is a very helpful picture. We can take a look at kind of what I'm half creating of one and half creating of the other. Except there's like barely any pictures of the link. It's kind of got like two pieces, and one will basically connect into the other parts, so we're gonna have to create a cylinder, which is over here, and bring it down. And we're gonna want to rotate this 90 degrees and scale it in, and put this to, whoops, wrong button, about here, and then scale it even smaller. Have one about there. Let's see how this looks. Yep. Press R, and we're just gonna scale this out, and press 4 to see our wireframe. Have it inside of there, and then I'm going to select that, and then duplicate that, and have another one about here, and then realize that you've done this on the wrong side. So select that piece and just bring it over to about here-ish, I think. Yep. And then have another one closer to like here, and then realize that this is also completely way too rotated, so I'm gonna flatten this maybe not actually. Rotate that more to like that way, and then rotate this a bit more like, let's see, I'm gonna actually add another deform non-linear bend to this, whoops, and give this a 5 or something, maybe a 10 just so I can see things, and then rotate this -90, and then -90, whoops, -90 but facing down this time, so basically I want that 0, and then I basically want this to be like 5 or something, because I still want this to be rotated, but just I don't want it to be that much bent. So I'm selected again, Alt Shift D. Just remember that no one's even gonna like see this piece anyway, so you don't need to add this much detail. I'm gonna do the same thing to this because this one's also a bit too much bent. So I'm gonna do 5, and then rotate this so about to there, maybe like 7, something like that, and then select the Alt Shift D, delete the history to make the bend thing go away, and then have it like here, and then we're gonna add another edge loop here. So select that, Control right click, edge ring, blah 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 blah, make it multi, and then about to there, and then G again, and make this one multi, and have it like that. Looks good, yep. And then I want to select like 3 of these faces right here, and then do Control E to extrude, and then just bring those, oh my god, forward, and then down to like the middle of that, so that we have it looking like that. And then I'm going to have, whoa, no, this selected and that selected, and then combine them, and let's see what we can do here. I think I'll leave it like that. Yeah, although, yeah, I like that. Then I want to do the same thing to the other side, so I'm going to save this, and then make the pivot in the middle of my land, and then duplicate this to the other side, so -1. Of course, it puts it too far. So let's see what I can change here. Push that down to like there, and then have it look like this, so that's pretty good. Duplicate this all the way over to here, so like there, and then just remember no one's gonna see this, so like I'm not putting in as much effort as I would if this was a different piece that we would actually see, because it's just gonna be like this, and you'll be like, oh wow, nice link. You wouldn't think anything of it. So I'm going to make the top part of this. Let's create another cube, and then push this down, and want to scale this out so that it basically fits there. And I can't wait until we start texturing. This is going to be amazing. So there, and want to deform it with a non-linear bend, and give this a curvature of like, I think it's 5 that we would want, and rotate it same way we've done everything. I'm not going to explain it completely. Actually, I want it to be like that, 180. And how about we go with 10? Is it rotating it the other way? Probably. Let's see how this looks. Oops. Oh, I know why it's not doing anything. Because we have like no edge loops on this, so if I add edge utilities, edging and split, 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 and then go back to deform, non-linear bend, and then also realize that you've been recording for 14 minutes, so I'm going to end this episode off here and pick up right back from when I was.